life becomes better and society is that much richer when we work together with people who have different backgrounds and interests than us. This is one of the things I've loved about so many years of helping other game developers come together early in their journeys to, in many cases, make their first long-term team projects together. And there's two ingredients there that are really important to why I think it's so important. The long-term part is because that creates the space for us to learn and for us to troubleshoot together. That we can begin a project knowing we're going to have to grow between when it starts and when it finishes in order for it to come out the way we want it to do. The teamwork part is so critical because lately, a lot of people have been turning to generative solutions, AI-type technologies for trying to be their programming partner, their writer, their artist, their designer, there's something else. And I think that so much of the richness of our interaction comes from when we solve challenges for each other, when we have need for each other because I'm not so great at music, but you're not so great at programming. But if we get together, we can do great things. You might be better at art than me, but I might be better at sound than you. We can get together. And this is specifically one thing I've really loved about game development, in particular, of the team projects involve, by necessity, gaps of no one person can have possibly learned all the different things at a super deep level of depth. It's part of why, for the 20 years I've been supporting this kind of structure, originally as a college club I started at Carnegie Mellon 20 years ago that's still running, as a Georgia Tech club I started 15 years ago that's still running, and then my current shape of my work, which is called DevPods today, until recently, started in 2015. It's been called Home Team for a lot of that life. When I was in both undergrad and grad school, the most valuable part of my education really was the shape of what we have turned this group into. It was the opportunity to build real projects that we cared about with other people. It was driven not by an assignment or not by impressing a teacher, but because I wanted this thing to exist. There was something in my heart and my mind I wanted to exist, and it is exactly the same format of DevPods. All the projects are member-led, and there is not managers or bosses telling each other what to do. The project lead just helps kind of keep things fitting together on track and on schedule, but the person who's doing the music and decides to do the music gets to decide more so how the music sounds. The person doing the level design or the writing or the art or something else, coding a part of it, has a lot more say in how that part gets done. We're all about autonomy, about ownership of our own work, that people retain the rights to their own contributions. It's something that is very much important to us, but it enables us to tap into our motivation for the things we want to learn, the things we're interested in. And our learning is just so much richer when it is not just in the abstract theoretical of maybe this will apply someday if I recognize this pattern. There's an actual obstacle I've run into. I'm going to go out there and find a solution or coordinate and work with my teammates to overcome the solution. And our system supports and maintains a rich context of those kind of learning opportunities. But it's been remote, fully online, without the same tuition barriers or relocation barriers or life stage challenges of being part of those college clubs. DevPods format works for anybody in the world. It's fully asynchronous. It's very low friction. Anybody can pop in, and we've made it more affordable than ever. You can go to devpods.gg, see the current price and how it's set up, and it's pretty simple to understand thanks to my marketing partner, Tim, better explaining how our system works than I used to be able to do. But two tough challenges are that, of course, everyone's in a very different economic circumstance. For some people, what seems like a very, very affordable middle class, lower middle class price point might be unobtainable for a lot of folks who are just in a tougher situation, who may still have plenty of interest, curiosity, drive, strengths, if only they could have the opportunity to help work on and develop those sides of themselves, perhaps leading them to an even better situation. The other side, of course, is just the tough reality that so many parts of the world, the monthly income, the annual average earnings is just very different than in other parts of the world. It's very unequally distributed, and it doesn't mean that there are not just as many smart, talented, capable, driven people who have great ideas, great background, again, if they could have that opportunity. And so the digital fully asynchronous format, by which means it doesn't matter what time of day they're at, they don't have to miss live events, doesn't mean that they have to be available during the work hours where they're at or the sleep hours where they're at, etc. It fits around each person's flexible schedule to take part in projects together. Now, majority of our members in DevPods cover their own dues. They pay their membership, they get immediate access, they can just sort of take time between things if they want. It's just, that's a normal way to join. The sponsorship program you're hearing about here on Patreon, the way that it works is that for other folks in the world who, in order to sustain membership over a period of months, because that's how long it takes, again, long-term and team projects, takes months. It's not like a 1 week, 2 week program. In order to join with some confidence of, I can still be doing this sustainably 3 months from now, 6 months from now, 9 months from now, and learning. In that case, if they would need their dues covered, we have a way that they can join with a simple application on our Patreon. And I want to make this distinction clear, right? There's people who are supporting the Patreon, adding to the pool that gets divided out into how many openings we can accept through the application list. Paying through Patreon does not make you a member. DevPods.gg, if you want to pay for a membership, that's how to do that there. But then the other way is on our patreon.com page, which if you're catching us on YouTube, check out the description link for the link to that. There is a form that just checks out, hey, would you really be utilizing this? And the reason for that is because people who take part through a system, there's a lot of applicants. Not everyone who applies can be admitted. There's often a wait list. And so the way we have the setup is that once a quarter, we have a review schedule to make sure are the people who are currently allocated into utilizing these opportunities, supported through Patreon, utilizing the membership. And all we mean by that is basically at least every other week they're doing something, right? 6 weeks out of each quarter of the year, a month and a half out of each 3 months. Are they involved in any capacity on any project? It doesn't have to be super impressive. We are not insisting people do a certain thing. No one gets told what roles, what tasks, what projects to be on. It's all self-guided. But we want to make sure, right? If someone has a scholarship to a school and they just don't go to class, you're not even necessarily mad at them, but that scholarship has to be reallocated to someone else who is waitlisted for that opportunity. And so that's where we have made DevPods more affordable than ever with our newest system. And so because of that, we're able to support a much even lower subsidized rate, where we are just trying to make sure we can responsibly sustain the level of moderation, onboarding, support for projects and participants and so on that comes with each additional member. So the way it works on Patreon here is you're offering a monthly input to our pool that gets divided out. Then you are anonymously supporting these people. And the people who come to our program through the sponsorship, in many cases, again, are from either other parts of the world or different economic circumstances, otherwise may not have had the opportunity to take part in our groups. We keep fully private. We don't mention in our credits or internal to our groups who is taking part through sponsorship. However, and it's been doing this now for enough years, I can be pretty vague and not give away any details privately. We've seen some real substantial improvements in people's lives who've been able to take part of this program, who, despite not having, for example, a college education and technical background, were able to find programming jobs through experience they had in a group, who, despite not having had opportunities of, again, design-related programs, etc., found and obtained initially some internships in some bigger game studios or even jobs in game studios in their regions. There's been other cases where literally a guy started a game company in his country that would just not have been possible without the, in his case, couple of years he spent with us, made possible through the Patreon supported systems. It is not a fixed length program. It is based on a quarterly check on, hey, is the person utilizing it? If they're not, we just have to rotate who has an opportunity off the wait list. No one's upset or mad or anything if it doesn't work out, so it's totally fine to try it out. If you try it out, if you apply to the Patreon sponsorship, it's just not working out, that's okay. We're just going to open up that opportunity to somebody else. That's, again, fine. But also with a quarterly review, if someone's utilizing the program and they're actively engaged and they're doing things, then we want them to be able to continue doing so. We just extend it an extra quarter, and we've, again, done this quarter at a time for as many times as it makes sense, where someone's still utilizing and participating in our group. Now, I want to point out about this wait list. If you're worried about that because you'd like to apply to go through this way, it is a pool of applicants, not a queue. So just because you are finding out about this maybe longer, years after some other people heard about it, you could apply next and still be admitted next. There is a complex web of projects at any given time are waxing and waning on Godot, Unreal, and Unity. And within that community, are there musicians of certain styles? Are there artists of certain kinds? Are there level designers of certain backgrounds, programmers of certain strengths, where we can recognize there's a gap? Like, we had a great composer in a group. That composer moved on, stopped being a member of DevPods or something. That's a great opportunity for us to find someone in the application list who'd be a great fit, to be appreciated, to be recognized, to just slot right in, to have a better chance of success, because they don't feel like they're entering a space that's kind of crowded for what they want to do. And so that's one of the most important things to look for, is just matching up. Is the person going to be a match for what's going on in terms of their interest and their focus? Now, the other thing I want to emphasize and stress, it is not like applying for a job, right? We're not asking them to impress us. It is not like a portfolio reviewer. It has to be showing impact numbers or really great work or training of a certain background and everything. People are in DevPods to learn. The expectation is that you're very much at a learning, figuring it out stage, like everyone else in DevPods, supporting each other. And so that is something where instead it is just looking for, based on this person's background, it seems like they actually are going to utilize this. Do they have a level of earnestness about making games, energy that they're dedicating, committed to doing it sustainably, sensibly? And if so, again, at least every other week doing anything on all the projects is all that's asked to maintain sponsorship allocation. I grew up in a small town in the Midwest. At no one's fault, there's just not a lot of people from elsewhere in the world I got an opportunity to get to know. But when I came to college, I met students from all over the rest of the world who had been able to thankfully fly there, live there, work together. I know not everyone's going to have that opportunity in their life. Through DevPods in a fully asynchronous, distributed, remote fashion, we have more people in more parts of the world, especially made possible through your support here on Patreon, to have that opportunity, people to work together, people from other cultures and backgrounds, different lenses on life, different priorities about thinking about games and design and storytelling and music and art and programming, and it is so enriching to have people from more walks of life able to interact. So we're so proud of all the people we've been able to bring together, including many project leads, including contributors from all over the globe in so many different time zones. So grateful to see the opportunity for people to work together, learn together, have each other's backs, troubleshoot together, gain appreciation of each other. It is an opportunity for people to work together across all kinds of backgrounds in a way that fits their schedule, fits their life, aligns to their goals, taps into their interests, made possible for more people through support of people like you here on Patreon. So I want to thank you so much. Check out our Patreon page. If you're catching us on YouTube, check the link in the description for how to support us and a way you can, at a pretty affordable rate, cover subsidized membership dues for more applicants in our queue to be accepted sooner rather than later and maintained in our program. On the other side of the application process, if you would need to apply through our Patreon support to take part, make sure that option is available to you. That Jot form is also going to be linked to from the Patreon page. That's it for today. Look forward to continuing to facilitate more games than the 200 some odd ones we've already released in the past decade, even more at scale with more people involved. And cannot thank you enough for either your support in our program, if that's the side you're on, or your willingness to take part in our program, which is in many ways so much more support you're also able to provide by your time, by your commitment, by your involvement, by your bringing your talents, your strengths, your interests, your whole self to our communities. We really value that, respect that, appreciate that. Thanks again. I look forward to making games with some of y'all, and I'm so thankful for the other rest of your support, making it possible for us to continue to work with more people around the globe and in different economic circumstances in DevPods.